This video under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. Welcome. It is your girl, Survivor Speaks. What up? Nobody's here. This was just like an impromptu live. I just have an update about Ziyah Harris. And I always said, let me just get this music on right about now. I always said that I would not report any news unless it was worthy news in regards to Ziyah Harris. I do see one person watching. Don't know where you're watching from, but welcome in. I don't really care about when it comes to Ziyah, this is something that touched my heart deeply. And so there was an interview conducted. So today is the 4th, actually, February 4th, yesterday, February 3rd, with some of Ziyah Harris's family. I was setting up my live stream for tomorrow morning and just checking to make sure there was no updates regarding Ziyah. And I looked and yeah, there is. So yeah, this is live. I'm just not coming on camera because I just wanted to go through this quickly because I am covering the Ziyah Harris case. So Forest Bay asking, is this live? Let me show you that I am here. I am not camera ready because this is like an impromptu live. So thank you for coming in. Yep, it's 2 a.m. I don't even have like my moderators. I didn't. It was just I was setting my live up for tomorrow morning, and so I saw this, and of course I'm not reporting. There was nothing new to report when I was on earlier in regard to Ziyah. And I'm not reporting anything that's false on her. But as I was, setting my live up, getting ready to go to bed, I did see this interview. And so I'm going to report on it. No problem. I normally like to go live because now I love connecting with people that support me and people that come into a live stream. I used to only be my avatar, but I decided to go live, live in a living color, and people love me that way. But I was getting ready to go to bed, and I'm not going to come on camera looking crazy. But no, you're fine. She said that's what the audio is for. That is correct. Dr. Amira Quelly, the Crystal Rock Goddess. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for being here. Can you guys? Yes, thank you, Dr. Amira Quelly. Liked the video. So. As I was going, getting ready to just shut it down because I have a live set up for tomorrow early. And I was not going to, just let me give you a quick background, a quick background on what it is for me. Give me one moment. Let me just turn. I like to have the music on in the background until we get to the video. So this shout out to No One. He is on YouTube here, and he did create this track for me to put behind video. So I just wanted to say, give a shout out to him. So the deal is this: why are they still in the care of these people? Yeah. So for me, what it is I reported on Ziyah when they had the preliminary hearing. The next court hearing for Ziyah is March 7th. I am covering this case. I will be live streaming. I also reached out to Law and Crime because it's great that this story is being covered on the Detroit networks, but I think that Ziyah deserves to be streamed on bigger platforms as well. So I'm going to go over there and check to see if they responded. So I have reached out to somebody directly in Law and Crime. So I'm going to check and see if she responded back to me. But I will be here March 7th for Jarvis Butt's pre-trial and calendar hearing. On that date, we should learn when the trial is going to start. We should know dates then. So I'm going to, but as far as Ziyah goes, and as far as my channel goes, I want to keep the integrity of my channel. So I'm only going to report things that I can verify, or if it's something like Shannon did an interview prior, like I've showed all that I can show, right? So I'm not going to keep reporting on Ziyah daily, because there is really nothing new to report, and I'm not going to report a bunch of theories and stuff like that. And I'm not going to share any interviews as it relates to Ziyah's brother. Even though he is of age, he's still a child. He still was in this house when this stuff was going on. So I try my best to respect that and see and look at things from both sides of the coin. I did share his live that he did on Instagram. That's because it was coming directly from him. He went live. He wasn't prompted to, come on an interview or anything. He went live himself. So if you look at the stories from his live, that video is on my page. If you listen to that live Instagram and you listen to the detectives in this case, there's definitely contradictions between the both. And I can understand. I was very bothered and triggered by the fact that during his live, someone asked him in the comments, was he SA'd? And I'm just like, come on now. Like, why would you ask him? It's already hard. He already said that in that video, he was jumping around. He said that, when you go through something all your life, and he must have thought about what he was saying, and he switched to another topic. So, and I can understand him, and I don't want to exploit him. I definitely wouldn't be asking him any of those questions if I was to speak to him. So I choose not to. I don't want to talk to him. That's just, what it is. I would rather, like I said, keep the integrity of my channel. I just want to tell you guys, Ziyah Harris has not been found. She is still missing. There was no burnt remains found. There was no, Ziyah was not found in a shallow grave, and she definitely was not found alive with a baby. I don't know why these things are being reported. And, I know I'm sounding, I'm kind of glad I'm not live right now, because I'm a little, this is tugging on the heartstrings of everyone, and I'm a little choked up right about now, especially about this interview that I'm about to play. It's about 4 minutes long. It was done by 7 News Detroit, and this is not the first time I heard about CPS, the authorities being contacted in regards to Jarvis Butts. Court TV did do a small they did cover this a little bit when the preliminary hearing was going on, but however, they did not stream the preliminary hearing. And it was said on that stream how CPS was contacted in authorities as well. Another thing that I want to tell you is that, I mean, I'm sure most of you have already been following this, but Jarvis Butts was on the registry since 2005. And as of January 8th of 2025, that's January 8th of 2025, Jarvis Butts was listed on the SA registry list as compliant. We all know that he was incarcerated. Preliminary hearing was in January. And even though he is incarcerated, why is that not updated? I need to go back on there to see if they have updated it as of now. But I'm talking about January 8th, 2025. He was listed as being compliant. We all know that that's not true. That bothered me so much. Because how is that possible? So, why are they still in the care of these people? Dr. Amira Quelly, I hope I'm saying your name right. So I'm going to just call you Dr. Amira because I don't want to mess up your last name. I think that we need an overhaul done in regards to the CPS system. I think that, they need to do more thorough checks. When children go into foster care, we have this case, right? And what burns me up is I'm not even going to name the person's name because I'm not giving them any, what is the word I'm looking for? I'm not giving them any spotlight on my channel. We have somebody that is going around, and I believe something happened to her, but I believe that she is in a relationship now where I think she was abducted by this woman. But there's a lot of people looking into the case, and I must say that this young girl, her mother allegedly abused her, but she had this CPS worker or social worker that was after her. She's been with this social worker for years. She's online, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, with all of these people behind her claiming, I'm not asking for any money. I'm not doing this now. I just want people to know that whenever somebody's running a nonprofit, they get paid. They get to keep a portion of that money. So imagine if you have like 100,000, 200,000 people that are believing your story and they're pouring in these donations for something else. You're living off of this money and you're lying to your audience. I don't like liars. And that's just my belief. I don't like liars. So we have this case here where Ziyah Harris was failed. She was failed by many of the agencies, CPS, law enforcement, some of her family members, because I'm going to say her family members that are on this interview, they did alert the authorities before, whether it be CPS or anyone else. They tried, and so they are going to mention that here in this interview with 7 Detroit. I just think that we need to really do our research and just stop jumping on the bandwagon of of some people that are using. I don't want to seem like I'm victim bashing because I'm not. I do believe that something happened to this young lady. I'm just not going to mention her name on my channel. I'm not going to give her any. I don't care if it's not that many people here. I'm just not going to put any spotlight on her. I just think that is wrong. What she is doing. She has help from other people now. And we have people like Ziyah Harris. We have people like Ayanna Sawyer. I went over that and compared the similarities in the cases of Ayanna Sawyer and Ziyah Harris. And it is so eerie, the parallels, like the similar parallels between the two. It's just Ayana was 15 and Ziyah is younger than she is. Somebody really ticked me off on TikTok the other day. As it relates to Ayana Sawyer, I delete all. I don't entertain any negative comments. I just delete them. Right? We know that a young woman at the age of 15 to 16, the mind is not fully developed. Heck, some women that's 40 something years old, 50 something years old, can't even handle going through something with a man. So how are you going to say that a grown man, 30, 40 something years old, taking advantage of a young child, if Ziyah was 13 or what have you, 14, 15, or 16, this man was still a manipulator. So anybody that gets under my videos calling Ayana out of her name, calling Ziyah out of her name, I don't care what text messages were read in the Ziyah Harris preliminary hearing. It is not her fault. She was groomed by a predator who has more than one victim, and they did absolutely nothing. And she was living with a family. Sorry, y'all, that felt her. I have a petition on my community wall. I have people under my petition. What is this going to do? What is that? You don't have to comment. You don't have to say anything. I didn't make the petition for you. I made the petition for me and for the people that care about this case and want to see justice done and not just stop at Jarvis butts, but everybody involved needs to go to jail. I understand, I'm just gonna leave that part alone. I'm gonna just leave that alone and get into the video, because people want to go into tangents about Shannon, and I understand she might not have all the wits about her, but she said some pretty disturbing and shocking things during, interviews, being under people's posts unprovoked when they did not even mention her. They were just mentioning, reporting on Ziyah Harris and leaving very disparaging remarks, comments. Marquita, her twin sister, posting, making posts to mislead the people and direct them away from the truth. I don't care, and I understand that they allegedly were, essayed themselves, and so was their mother, so was Ziyah's mother, is what I'm hearing. And my heart goes out to them, but I believe that all of the perjury that happened during the preliminary hearing when they got on the stand shows that they know that this is wrong. So if you know that this is wrong, you should have said something. And Shannon, before she stopped talking, I don't know if she's talking now. I'm not looking for her. I'm just waiting for March 7th of 2025. You've said a lot. She said a lot of things on this internet that cannot be rolled back. They cannot be taken away. Should not go unnoticed. And that's just my feeling and the way I feel about that. So let's get right into the video, y'all. Thank you so much for letting me. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Mira. They sure did. They groomed. They were groomed. They all were groomed. But at some point, you know that it was wrong. And the reason why we can tell that you know that it was wrong, you may have thought it was okay at one point, but at some point you knew it was wrong. You knew it was wrong when you got on that stage and you perjured yourself. Shannon and her mother. You knew it was wrong. And according to the boyfriend of Marquita, that interview was on here as well. According to him, they basically are hiding out at him. It's Marquita's home as well as his. So let's just say that. I don't want anybody to say oh, he called them over there, but they both are on the lease, right? But they're being very secretive, sneaking around when he comes in the room. According to him, allegedly, they shut their mouths. They're talking to each other, whispering to each other, and everything like that, so they know that it is wrong. And then he also said that Marquita's youngest son, because her daughter, who was on the stand, I want people to get this correct because some people have this incorrect. The young girl that testified on the stand, that was 9 years old, was Marquita's daughter, whose father has her. Her father has her. Her father was there in the courtroom as well. He said he was put out of the courtroom because he had no idea that Jarvis tried his baby. So, like I said, and I told him, because he followed me on IG, and I told him, I said, you know what, just tell your daughter that she is a brave little soul. And you must have done something right, because she told Jarvis, no, no, no. He backed off and took her home, but he tried to groom her first. So he brought her there, had relations with Ziyah and Janiyah. This is where people are getting it messed up. Janiyah did not testify in this case. The young girl that testified in this case was 9 years old. They did not name her. They have not said her name. And her father, from what I know, has not said her name. He has just spoken about his daughter. So I like to stick to the facts, because this is a channel over here that, you know, with it, that I want to maintain. And I want to report what's true. And so I just can't. I'm not going to report anything for a click interview. This is about awareness, because this is happening it's happening too many times, especially like in our communities, but in all communities, it's happening. And our communities, as families have told their loved ones, what happens in the family stays in the family. Don't say anything. We handle it in-house. No, 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 no. That's not it. I'm telling you, my daughter is 17. And listen, she carries mace. She knows when to put it up. She knows when to pull it out. She knows if any man approaches her, knee him in the groin, grab him in his throat, if he's that close, knee him in the groin. I showed my daughter a technique that was taught to me when I, took karate, and you can take a man down. It doesn't make a difference whether they weigh 50 pounds or 250 pounds. And so that's what I teach my daughter. Scream, a stranger, danger. You do all of that. And my daughter's going to do that. My daughter walks to school and to the bus, and from the bus with her finger on the mace trigger. I'm so sorry, but that's just how I teach my daughter. It's happening too soon. People snatching up kids, taking advantage and everything. We have to teach our children how to protect themselves. And that's just it. And that's that on that. But we need to stop telling. In our community, we need to stop telling kids if this thing happened to them and they say something that what happens here stays here, and and all of this stuff. So I'm just not doing that. I'm not teaching my daughter that. And my daughter doesn't go anywhere but her grandmother's house. My mother, her father's mother, that's it. Her father's and mother's not having that over there, and my mother don't have anybody in her house. So yeah, let's get to the video. Let me bring it over for you guys. I'm going to turn down the music in the background. It's like a 4-minute video. Let me just bring that over. All right. Let me put my trigger warning up, because it is triggering to hear this. So I want to say right now, so I'm using this video that was interview that was done by Channel 7 Detroit under the Fair Use Act for education purposes. I will add their name down in the description. So I have to say that so they won't strike the channel. But anytime I'm going to bring awareness to this case when something new comes out. So this is the first time. Well, this is not the first time I'm hearing from these family members that are interviewed with Detroit 7. So it's Janelle, and the other one, I don't want to say her name right now. Wait till she say it in here, because it's not a common name, and yeah. I have chemo fog brain, y'all. I'm going on an 18-year surviving as a triple negative breast cancer survivor, and it is what it is. Sometimes you'll hear me talk and pause. I always give my disclaimer. That is because this is something that's never going away. I have chemo fog brain, but I'd rather have that and be here for my daughter. I have an older son. He's on his own. And he needs me too. So every now and then he calls me up, or he has an idea like, oh my gosh, do you think I'm genius? This is what he said last week, y'all. He came up with an idea. All I can say, all right, son, try it. Try it. Let me know. I'm here. Let me know what happens. Okay. So, yeah, Pam Entertainment TV, thank you so much for coming over. And we're going to watch this. It's a 4-minute video. This was done on yesterday. It's February 4th, 2:26 a.m. in the morning. So this interview was conducted yesterday with Janelle is one of Ziyah's family members. Well, all of the Harris's families family members, and there's another young lady here that is in the that is being interviewed as well. I'm going to need to get to her correct name because it's not a common name. And so, like I said, I suffer from chemo fog brain, so I'm not going to jack her name up. We'll hear it here. So let me get this music off, and so that we can get right into this video, because I scheduled a live for the morning. I might need to change the time, but it's not anything to do with Ziyah. So I do true crime because I'm a true crime buff. And if you're here, please hit the like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate that. So let me just get the trigger warning sign back up here. Yeah, I should have just took that off. Let me just see if I could just do this one. So I was scrolling across the bottom. All right. Yeah, that's not the right ticker. Hold on. It's scrolling. I'll just use this one because I didn't want to, but I will. And let's hide that, but all right. So here we go. You guys put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the video. I would greatly appreciate that. So let's go. All right, here we are.
Jarvis Butts is awaiting trial for the murder and sexual abuse of Ziyah Harris.
After listening to days of testimony last month, a judge called Butts a monster and said that opportunities to protect the 13-year-old girl were missed. Tonight, the 7 investigators are revealing years of warnings that preceded Butts' alleged crimes.
Warnings that family members say were made to Children's Protective Services that could have saved Ziyah's life. Here's what 7 investigator Ross Jones has uncovered.
You look at that face, and you do see the horrors that she's gone through in her short life. The exploitation, the molestations, the sexual abuse, and the pregnancy that she was concealing.
Years before Jarvis Butts would be charged by Wayne County's prosecutor, accused of killing and sexually abusing 13-year-old Ziyah Harris, Harris's own relatives say they saw the warning signs and told anyone who would listen.
So at that point, I was like, this is too much. I'm calling CPS.
I tried not just once, but multiple times for them to take me serious in what I was saying.
Kiwana Morton and her cousin Jernell are both relatives of Ziyah Harris. In February of 2022, Jernell says she learned of allegations of improper touching involving Butts and other small children. She says she was told about the claims while talking to her niece, Jarvis Butts' girlfriend, and that the alleged victims were Ziyah Harris and 2 other children.
I was just like, oh my God, I was not crazy. This needs to be looked into.
She says she took the claim seriously in part because Butts was on the sex offender registry, having spent more than 8 years in prison for third-degree criminal sexual conduct. She didn't alert authorities at first because she believed her niece would notify police. But weeks later, Jernell did notify Child Protective Services. Her complaint came in on April 13, 2022. There was an incident at a birthday party, the complaint reads. One of the children that attended the party accused Jarvis of sexual abuse. Ziyah, and name withheld, reported that Jarvis touched both of them inappropriately as well. Jarvis touched, name withheld, in her private area, and it hurt. Jernell made the complaint over the phone.
They basically told me if they needed me for anything else, they would reach out.
The next day, Janelle would receive a text from her niece, Butt's girlfriend, confirming that CPS had contacted her. CPS called me, the text reads. They called about the well-being of my kids. Then they called back to get Jarvis info. A CPS spokeswoman would not tell 7 News Detroit if investigators ever questioned Ziyah Harris after receiving the complaint. But we do know it wasn't the only complaint filed with CPS, naming Jarvis Butts.
So I didn't want to stop the video, but I do want to stop the video there. I'm very, very triggered and very, very bothered because, you know, according to the report, it was reported that Ziyah did say that he touched her. So this leads me to believe that Ziyah knew this was wrong. So if Ziyah knew that this was wrong, then they all knew that this was wrong. So Janelle is the aunt of Shannon Harris, right? She's the aunt, and then I think it's Kiwana. She's another family member. But this could have been prevented. This could have been, that baby could still be here. This could have been prevented way back in 2022, April 13, 2022 to be exact. So, you know, this thing tears me to pieces. I'm glad I'm not on camera, y'all, because this is too much. Okay, so let's get back into it so I can let you guys go. It's like almost, what is it, 3 yet? It's 2:30. So let's get back into it. But Ziyah did say that he touched her. So maybe she thought that when nobody did nothing, that she had to do, like, this brings, like, so many things go through my mind. Did he threaten her? Like, and I'll say it again. I'm going to say it again. Shannon Harris, clink, clink, go to my community wall. There is a petition there. There is a lot, you know, there are a couple people I see with petitions. Sign them all. If you decide to come here and watch my live stream on March 7th, that's fine. But if you don't, that is fine too. There's a lot of people covering it. I'm just going to cover it with my integrity. I'm not reporting anything that's false, and that's just that. So here we go. Let's get back into this.
And it wasn't easy for me to call protective services just because of the horror stories that you hear.
Kiwana Morton said she heard about the same allegations against Butts from a conversation with his girlfriend. 2 months after her cousins called to CPS, she would file her own complaint.
I told them that there's a problem and they need to be aware of it. I am 90% sure that there's sexual abuse going on within the home.
Did you specifically mention Jarvis by name?
Yes, absolutely.
Internal CPS records we obtained show that investigators looked into that complaint,
Y'all want me to stop it here so y'all can read this? Do you guys want me to stop it here so you can read this report that's here? If I can make this a little bigger, maybe. I mean, it's up to you. If you want me to just go ahead and keep playing it, I will. But if you want me to stop it here and play it so you got, we can read this report. I guess they're putting it on. Are they putting the whole report up here? So it says that they have it redacted, which is great. But Jarvis Roman Butts, his name is up top here. I don't think you guys can see my pointer, but it's SA. His secondary role was the parent, so I guess that's to Shannon Harris. It says based on the investigative findings. Thank you. Excuse me. Based on the investigative findings, there is not a preponderance of evidence to support the allegation of SA. They redacted it by redacted. Face-to-face interviews were conducted with both parents. Wow. 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 Just wow. So according to Mr. Butts, he has not seen the children he has with, we all know that's probably Shannon, in months. Shannon Harris in months. He stated he has not essayed any of his children in any way. They allegedly he has. He stated it's redacted. He stated it's someone who would say that about him. He stated it doesn't look good either, that when you look him up, he was convicted of a X crime. However, that was 20 years ago. According to Blank, was shocked at the allegations, and this was all new to her. Lies, lies, and more lies. Remember, Shannon Harris said that when she first met Jarvis, he told her about his charge, that he was an essay on the registration on the essay offenders registration list. And according to her, out of her mouth, she said that he gave her the choice to choose whether or not she wanted to go on with the relationship. And she said because society gave him a new chance, another chance, then she was going to give him a chance. So this is a lie, and they can catch her in the lie. When she made that statement, she called into a show that had not reached out to her, but she was upset because they were talking about her. So she called into that show. She was confronted more than once about him telling her prior to getting into a relationship with her what his charges were and that he was on the registry. And she still went on, put everybody, all of those children that was in her home at the time, in her mother's home, in harm's way. Because we all know she was living separate from her mother at one point. She lost that place and moved back in with her mother. You put all of these children in danger. So, Ziyah, what the courts can prove is that Jarvis, they have, evidence that supports that he was in a relationship with Ziyah when she was 12 and 13. However, he has been around Ziyah since she was 2 years old. Remember, there is a 4-year-old or younger. They never said that the girl was 4. They said 4 or younger, so they never came out with the age. This is a report that was on the news when they brought Jarvis into court to charge him with giving that 4-year-old or younger child an STD, the video. Now, let me read this. I'm very bothered by the fact that you are covering up this you have covered up this crime, and you continue to cover up this crime. Even in the preliminary hearing, Shannon Harris protected him on the stand. Her mother protected him on the stand. You immediately turned into Ray Charles. I can't see him. My daughter got my glasses. I can't. He the only one sitting at that table over there with that green on. Now stop, Annette. Stop it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm mad. So she lied. This was all new to her. She stated her 3 oldest children ask for their father all the time, and he will come over every time they call him. They have it redacted. Stated she and Mr. Butts have an open visitation policy. She stated whatever has never, it's redacted, y'all. Stated has never come to her with any accusations against her father. So that is Janiyah. I keep telling, Janiyah is her daughter. The young girl on the stand was her 9-year-old niece, her twin sister, Marquita's daughter, who has not been named. But she was 8 years old when Jarvis tried to groom her. She gave him a hard no. No. You had relations with Ziyah and Janiyah in front of this 8-year-old girl. You brought her back a second time to have relations with the 2 of them. And you tried her, and she was brave enough to tell you no. She kept telling you no until you stopped and you brought her home. So this right here, this report is confirming what some people that are reporting on this with integrity, what they are saying. And I have reported this, and I'm only reporting on what we could physically see, right? So also, if you read in the text, if the text message that was read between Jarvis and Ziyah, I had a thought in my mind and it escaped me. Sorry, y'all. Chemo brain has kicked in, but it will come back to me. Chemo fog brain, it will come back to me. So maybe if I read this over, it will say, according to, she was shocked. Okay. Her daughter has never come to her. Okay, I remember. So if we remember the text messages, right? Ziyah texted Jarvis and said, what time are you picking up Janiyah? He said, I'm not. She said, why? And then she said, I am glad that she's not coming and I can have you all to myself. And he said, why would you say that? Ziyah said, she be doing too much. Listen to the detective on the stand reading those text messages. It's all in there. I have that video up here too. And so this report cross-references what was said in those text messages. The 9-year-old on the stand was never named. Janiyah is Shannon Harris's daughter. All right, let's go. Her father never had any of her other children. So I don't know about the other children, but I know Janiyah, he had relations with her. So MDHHS sent a LEN, that's a law enforcement officer, to the Wayne County prosecutor and Detroit PD. Well, LEN. So MDHHS completed a referral to Kids Talk for blank and blank was forensically interviewed. There were no disclosures. A home assessment was completed. The home was clean, had working utilities, an adequate supply of food, and was free of any observed safety concerns. Did they take the chains off of the refrigerator and off of the pantry before they came there? Because we saw over and over and over again in Ziyah's TikTok videos that she posted to Instagram as well. She has 2 Instagram accounts that she was doing TikToks in front of this refrigerator that not only had a chain that wrapped around it about 4 or 5 times, maybe 6, with a lock on it. In every TikTok video that she was doing. Let's go. There were no disclosures. Okay, so they had an adequate supply of food and was free of any observed safety concerns. Safety plan. A safety plan was not created due to Mr. Butts not agreeing to be separated from his children. This case will be denied as a Category 4 with a low risk level. How? No one will be placed on central registry. The family was provided with a DHS 1450, Pub 137, and a list of resources that can be used throughout Macomb County. Child. Now, that is just disgusting in itself. These people did nothing. They did nothing. And whoever did this report needs to be fired, because the family members are telling you that these children said, did you question these children in front of them? Did you tell them that everything was going to be okay? They're not going to get in trouble. Like, did you go through the right protocol when you question these children? How dare you say that Jarvis Butts, this is you made this low level? Y'all, like, okay, we almost done with this video, but I just wanted to stop that there to read that to you guys and like give a little commentary on it. This is disgusting.
We deny the allegation. A forensic interview was conducted with the alleged victim and no disclosures were made. CPS said the home was clean and free of observed safety concerns. The allegation was denied, assigned a low risk level. These are 2 complaints of at least 5 filed with CPS since 2015 naming
Wow.
Jarvis Butts. They allege concerns about possible
Wow.
molestation, physical abuse, or living conditions.
Wow.
Some of the complaints are generic, and none would ultimately substantiate that Butts was improperly touching children.
Wow.
Just over a year after the last complaint on record, Butts would be charged with sexually assaulting and murdering Ziyah Harris.
Wow.
I'm brokenhearted because this could have been prevented. All of it.
Wow.
All of it could have been prevented.
Attorneys for Jarvis Butts declined comment for this story, citing his pending criminal case. As for CPS, a spokeswoman for the Department of Health and Human Services said that their hearts go out to the family and friends of Ziyah Harris. It says that state and federal laws prohibit them from commenting on what we just reported, but that they are committed to ensuring the health and safety.
So that is the interview that was done yesterday. I'm bothered. Ziyah Harris didn't deserve that. CPS, nobody gives a damn about what you're saying. Now your heart goes out to the family. You could have prevented this. You could have prevented this, but you did not. You did nothing. Nothing. You might as well have not even come to the home. Shannon Harris needs to be arrested immediately. Her mother needs to be arrested as well. It is not, I heard somebody say, oh no, they don't want to do that because then they're going to, Jarvis could possibly get off. How? He can't. He cannot. I worked in law enforcement for 7.5 years. As a correction officer, not as a police officer, but as a correction officer. I know a little bit about this. He's not there. There's no way he's getting off. That child that was 4 years or younger that he gave that STD to, there is no way. How in the heck do they report all of this? Not one time. And then Kiwana Morton said that she made her reports 2 months after Janelle, the aunt, did. And the aunt Janelle, now that I'm able to see her clearer in the first interview that I saw with them two, she looks a lot like Shannon and her mom. But that was 2 months later. April 13th is when Janelle reported this. 2 months later in June, Kiwana Morton made her complaint. And then as you can see, there was 3 more complaints made? When does it stop? When does this end? These men don't have to look outside the home anymore. Just look right in the home where you're visiting. And Marquita's boyfriend alleged, I'm going to say alleged, that the youngest son that she does have custody of, he just said was in a similar situation like Ziyah, which means he was SA, CPS. I'm not sure if they took those children out the home. I saw people say they took the children out of the home. I did not see that, so I'm not going to report that. And if they did not, why are these children still in any of these homes? According to Ziyah's mom, and I'm so upset because I don't really check my Facebook, so anything from Instagram goes over to my Facebook, or if I am live streaming here on YouTube, I normally live stream it to my Facebook and Twitter. I don't even know how Facebook works anymore. I'm going to try to get to learn. Her mother did report on, she left a comment under one of the posts that was shared from YouTube here. Her mother's name is Kenyatta Harris. For me, I am not going to bash her mom right now, right? I don't know what her mother was, a beautiful young lady. She said that she was also SA'd. She was going through this SHIT all of her life. And She didn't have custody of her child. So if she couldn't take care of her child, I think her mother petitioned the court to get custody of Ziyah. And so if you place Ziyah in the home of her grandmother, then she was supposed to be safe there. According to her mother, her biological mother, her mother, who was Annette, was not supposed to have any children, any foster children in her home anyway, because of her own cases. So I'm not somebody that's going to say, oh, you know, her mother let her down. She didn't have her. So not every day, like, you know, sometimes women have children and they can't take care of them. I think the best thing for them to do is to give them up if they know that they can't support these kids emotionally, financially, lovingly, you know, and they may have issues. I am all for, you know, adoption, but I think there needs to be an overhaul of the process that, you know, happens, you know, in the adoption process. I think that, you know, someone needs to be monitoring the home for a certain period of time to make sure that the home is safe for the kids. And they need to, the children need to know that, you know, we're coming to make sure you're okay. And if you're not, it is fine. We're going to make sure that you're okay and take them to a safe place. I know placing, you know, continuously removing and placing children in foster homes is not ideal, but we got to do something because this is not fair. It's not right. And I'm going to just tell you this quick story and I'm going to get off. So my niece had ran away. She was 14 or 15 at the time. And I went looking for my niece. She was staying with this girl. The girl was a little older than she was, probably like 18 or 19, but they were living with the mother. They had no running water. My niece had a head rag on her head. My mother didn't allow us to even wear a headscarf out the house. We couldn't wear a headscarf out the house. We couldn't wear slippers, none of that. So I see my niece, she got on this dirty red headscarf, walking on the back of her shoes, just dirty. And I said, get in the car now. I need to go get you don't need anything because the way you are looking right now and the way that you are smelling right now is not good. Get in the car. I don't need to tell any of these people where you're staying that I am taking you because I am going to go through the proper, you know, procedures. You need to be in school. She's brilliant, intelligent, straight A student. I get my niece. I take my niece to my house. She can't get on the bus. She couldn't get on anything and go back where she came from. I need you to get in the shower. I'm going to the mall, get you some clothes to wear, and then we're going to work on what we need to do next. I kid you not. I took my niece to CPS because I wanted it documented that she was with me, and I had her, how I found her. I took pictures of her and everything, but I could not, I'm not going to bring my niece up here in that condition. So that's why I took the pictures. But and I'm not going to ride in a car with her while she's smelling the way she smells right now, because that's not how she was raised. She ran away from home. She's supposed to be in school. CPS said, well, okay, we're going to come and do a home inspection. Fine. Y'all don't need to call. Just come. I'm off today and tomorrow. Just come. Y'all need to call. Just come on, ring the bell. Let's go. That CPS worker came to my home, saw with the room my niece was going to be staying in. They walked through my house, saw how I was living, closed the case. Never reached back out to me, gave me the paperwork to get her enrolled in school, and that was it. I never saw CPS a day again in my life. Never heard a peep from them. Nothing. Nothing. So I already know that CPS is not right. I already know this. I already know. What if I was somebody that was going to take her in to abuse her or something? Y'all don't know. Y'all never came back to try and find out. But because y'all saw the way I was living, oh, it's clean up in here. Oh, she gonna be in her own room up in here. Oh, okay. All right. So, oh, the floors are shining. Oh, okay. The furniture is white. Oh, okay. Y'all looked at all that and thought that it was cool. And I told you I found her walking down the street with this girl who she ran away with. I showed you pictures of her. I showed you everything. And because you came to my house and my house was clean, you just said, oh, okay, she good. I never heard nothing from them people again. Never. So this is a system that we're dealing with over and over and over every day, and it's still going on, and it's getting worse. And as long as they keep cutting funding for everything, it's going to continue to get worse. So we have to protect our own communities, our own children, our own, people. I wish somebody would try my daughter. I wish somebody would. And all I'm going to say to women, anybody that's listening to this video, relationships don't always work. We all know that. We all know that everybody deserves love, right? You get into a relationship with a guy, you best to go ahead and see what the relationship is with his mother. If a man doesn't respect his mother, he is never going to respect you. That is rule number uno in my book. If a man does not respect his mother, oh, she did this to me, oh, the BITC, nope. It's not somebody you want to deal with off the bat. Don't do it. My husband never, ever, ever walks around. And this is nothing I had to tell him. This is what his mother taught him. He never walks around in my house without a shirt on. He never comes out the room in a pair of boxers. Never. Never, 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 never. Never will even allow my daughter. She needs to knock on the door. And he's like, wait a minute, I'm in here. I don't let me put on a shirt. And those are the type of men that you really want, if you have to be in a relationship and, you need to find out. You need to find out all that. You need to watch. Don't be introducing your kids all early. You got some people that be like, oh, I love kids. Oh, no, you don't love my kid. You don't know my kid like that. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not. And my husband never tries to overstep his bounds. And because my daughter, I was married to a father that didn't end so well, but he's a great father to her. My husband never tries to overstep those bounds and come in between that relationship. He does not even try to handle anything as far as that goes, because I don't really, I just make sure that my daughter's able to see her father. That's another thing I'm going to tell women. Some women get mad at me and be like, oh, listen. When you're not dealing with a guy, you need to cut off all of that actual activity. Just because you have a child by a man does not give him carte blanche to your box. So there you go, mixing up a bunch of toxins, spirits, whatever, all that stuff. And that's why people go crazy. If you care anything about your kids, you got a lot of people be out here, oh, I'm going to fight for my kids. I'm going to do that. So their mental health should be important to you. Let them, if they not like Jarvis Butts, let them children have a relationship with their father and vice versa, because there are some women where the roles are reversed. So I don't want to come on here and just say it's just women. There's some women that the roles are reversed where, the father has a child and they're using the child as a pawn against the mother, and vice versa. It should never be that way. My daughter had a cell phone since she was 3 years old. That's when the separation happened. With me and her father, she had a cell phone. You don't need to call me for anything. I don't talk to you. Call your daughter directly. I never interrupted their phone time until it was time for her to go to bed. And I was taking the phone from her. She was young. She was 3 years old. Like, you need to be calling her, at least before 8 o'clock. Another thing that I did for my daughter, and my daughter hated me for this, but I told the school, there is a feature if your children have an iPhone. Let me look. It's called Family Share. My daughter's phone used to come on at 7 a.m. in the morning and used to turn off at 8 p.m. until she was a certain age, and then I moved it to 9. She couldn't download any apps or anything on the phone. She would try to download something. It would send me the notification. I would have to approve it first. She used to be like, I can't even download games because you have to approve it. You're absolutely right. So I just wanted to let some parents know, if you have, young children, they have an iPhone, you have an iPhone, you can set that up on their phone. I remember it was the weekend. I used to give her a little more time. And when she was going outside the house, I would disable it so I can call her when I want to, but I can see who's calling her. And this little girl was calling her like 1:45 in the morning. Where's your mother? Where's your mother, or where's your father? Where? So another thing, hey, Miss Chick, I didn't know you was in here, but what's up? How are you? It is heartbreaking and horrific. Another thing, my daughter was with her dad. They went to the mall. She invited some friends, but her father was not going to leave my daughter in the mall. Now, my daughter at this time was 15 or 16, so it was not that long ago. As a matter of fact, it was during COVID when they started lifting the restrictions. So she's saying she's going to meet her friend at the mall. So her father stayed at the mall because he was going to be walking some steps behind them. The girl mother pulls up with her daughter, 2 other girls that these parents probably entrusted to you. You bring them to the mall. You see my daughter. You see her father. You drop the girls off. Don't say hi to. You don't introduce yourself to my daughter's father. You don't say hi. None of that. None of that. You just drop your daughter with 2 other girls off. Now he was pissed. Like, what if I would have walked in the mall and walked out the other door with them? How did she just drop these girls off to me? Because I'm with my daughter. So she knows I'm with my daughter, but she just didn't introduce herself. Like, my daughter's father was livid. How is he a man and he's more upset than you as a mother? And then you put these other 2 girls that are not your children who in harm's way. Yeah, like what's going on? What are we doing here? And that's the perfect situation and a perfect setup to you basically handed your kids over to this man that you don't know. He is a Muslim, so he has this long beard. It is, you know what it is. Like, you just drop no, hi, this is my daughter. What's your name, sir? Okay, you're gonna be at this mall with them. All right, do you have a cell phone number? Okay, so why are you staying here with them? I would have been asking all the questions. I'm a detective. I would have been asking all of those questions. What? Let me get, that's your car right there. Let me write down your license plate number. Is it okay if I let my daughter and her 2 friends go in the mall with you and your daughter while you're staying there with them? You understand what I'm saying? You just handed these girls over to him, and he's like, what if I would have just went? I could have just went and walked right out the other door, but he's cuckoo about my daughter. That's his daughter. It's not going down. So just some things that I wanted to tell you, like, Mixed Chick, you are absolutely right. This is so heartbreaking on so many levels. It is hard. But I'm going to get out of here because it's 3:05 a.m. and I held you here longer than what I have. Thank you so much for, tuning in and watching this. Forest Bay 88. This man was an animal. Exactly. So, yeah, so according to allegedly, that's what they're saying. That was his first case. But are you seeing now someone's 14 and he has a child with them? You can't tell me that Cordell Wright, aka King, did not know that this was going on. I do not believe that for 1 minute or 1 freaking second, that you did not know that this was going on. I pulled his record because I was curious to see what he was incarcerated for. And he's incarcerated for, he likes to violently assault pregnant women. Mr. Cordell Wright. Yes. Yes, Miss Chick, he is definitely a freaking parasite that needs. I'm not going to say that because, Lord, I'm not going to say without what I was thinking. I'm not going to say that because it's not up to me. It's up to anybody else. He definitely doesn't need to be out again. And so, like I told you guys, I'm only going to report if there is something new on this case. I'm not going to report anything false or anything that I cannot kind of vet and for clicks and views. So I am a true crime fanatic. So I report on all types of true crimes, and I do like rewinds over here. Or sometimes I may report on celebrity news from time to time. But I like to bring light to situations normally. But today I cannot bring light to this situation at all. I just cannot do it. And this is triggering, and it's thick. It's weighing on a lot of people's hearts. So, yeah, the rewind I'm doing tomorrow is now. I was going to do a rewind about this Imani Moss. I'm going to wait for that because we are covering the Ziyah Harris case. And so I'm going to just cover a different true crime case because I'm going to wait. Maybe after this, I may do a rewind on something else that may have a child involved. But yeah, I'm going to just cover something else until March 7th. Like I said, I'll be here live streaming Jarvis Butt's calendar conference and pretrial hearing. I will be live streaming it here. And then, like I said, we should know a court date. They should tell us when a trial, when a trial date is for Jarvis Butts. But that is it. I'm not going to be reporting on her every day because I've done a lot of reporting on her, and there's nothing new to say about this case that's out there for me. And I'm not putting anything. I get sick sometimes. I go to YouTube and I see some of the nonsense people are saying. Oh yeah, she was found. She was found. Like it's just too much for me. I'm just not doing it. So I always end my shows the same way. So I'm going to end this show the same way that I normally do. By telling you that it wouldn't be me if I did end the show by raising awareness that men can get breast cancer too. So because of the stigma associated with the word breast, we started using the term pec and or chest cancer here on the Survivor Speaks channel. However, if there are any men that are watching and you feel anything that feels not normal in that area, please consult a doctor. That should be a private area, a safe place for you to say, hey, because of the stigma, they may not test you for this. So you may want to say, hey, just check to make sure that I don't have breast cancer. My uncle is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So there's another young man that has and I saw it in passing on Instagram, and I've been trying to find this story ever since. But I haven't found it. I saw it at the time, and it's just he has a Instagram channel, and I want to find him because he had a double mastectomy, and so that is interesting to me. And I really wanted to find him just to see, to ask him about his journey. So anyway, I normally you do a hold to my ladies. I don't feel like doing that tonight. This is just weighing so heavy on me, but to my ladies, I'll do it like that. Please make sure that you're getting your mammograms, filling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. And don't you dare let anyone come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I'm Survivor Speaks, and I'll see you guys in the next video or, live stream. Thank you so much for watching this with me. See you guys later. Peace.
Full cycle, I just might though, just like a Michael. Mama gone now, I'm thinking death is not we entitled. And it was me versus me, them battles had to fight through. And when you way in the dark, them demons try to fight you. But you can't let them when you gotta see the damn light. Diabetes came from nowhere, messed up whole life. That's what I used to think, my mama helped me out. I got one dear and it's gotta make proud, don't count me